Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another horror review. Right, been meaning to check out so God, that's a good start, isn't it? Right, I've been meaning to check out this movie for a while, but you know how it is. Watching too many cheesy movies, kind of got put to the side, and then it finally pops up, and like, okay, let's do it. Why not? God, I've heard so many things about this. I was kind of avoiding watching it as well, and yeah, I don't know. It's not as bad as what they made it out to be, but there's still some cringe. Let's put the gas. So, um, sorry, lubricate the pipes. I have been sick for a week and a half, and I've been choking and spluttering. And anyone who's seen me on live streams is flipping embarrassing. But unfortunately, that's you got to soldier on and get through it. But still not great. Hopefully, I don't mess this one up too much. But yeah, we'll start off as very shocker-esque. I think James Wan's trying to channel his Wes Craven with this one. I think that's maybe the best way. I'm trying to wrap my head around because it's not typical James Wan work. I think maybe the problem is as well, we expect the Conjuring universe. When we think of James Wan, we think of the Conjuring universe, we think of that sort of look and feel. And straight away with this movie, we know it's something different. Now, there's still a bit of the color palette, but the music is so off in this. And I'm trying to. I flipping had another movie in my head. It wasn't Terminator. Almost like a sci-fi vibe. If that makes sense. The music in this going through is just not fitting with the visuals, which is a strange one. But we'll start off with CGI Hospital. God, yeah, we'll talk about some of the CGI later. It's special. But straight away, we've got CGI Hospital, and straight away you're going, oh, here we go. What the hell is this? Batman. I was thinking flipping Batman. You know, it's got flipping Gotham City written all over it. That's I was expecting the Dark Knight to appear. I think. Word. No, I'm not even starting that there. So we've got the scene in the hospital, and all the lights are going, bzz, 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 all that kind of stuff. Plot device, by the way. This movie beats you over the head repeatedly with plot devices. I think that's what's really jarring about it. It's like, here, this is important. This is so you know what happens. Here, have another one. Here's something. What's going on? Like, it's not his typical style. I know he didn't write it himself. He had a couple of writers on this, and it kind of tells because one thing I appreciate, and I know it can be a bit repetitive with some of the stuff, and I'm not a fan of everything he's put out, but he has this particular style of slow burning, letting the audience figure out what's going on. This movie's basically punching you in the face with it as you begin. And the problem is, it's nearly 2 hours bloody long. That's why I had to put this stream forward a bit, because by the time I was finished, I was like, I wasn't going to make 9:30, so I had to like put it forward and then finish it off. But yeah, we've got this. We've got Dr. Weaver, the most English American, weird, that generic evil doctor sort of accent that's like would do well in any sci-fi movie. And we're starting off with, oh, Gabriel, he's got out again, blah blah blah. He made it this far, blah, 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 blah. And so they're trying to contain Gabriel, and we don't find out what Gabriel is until later on, but we know Gabriel's naughty. In fact, she even goes as far as saying it, which is like, oh, God. Why? I think that's a moment I just knew I was in for like a parody. This is James Wan parody. If he was going to make a comedy scat or a parody of his own movies, this is it. Yeah, Gabriel's happily, it's all done off screen, in the room, and people are disappearing inside and all that kind of stuff, trying to maintain the mystery. And then Dr. Weaver, she saves the day with a trank dart. And she's like, "You've been a very naughty boy, and we've We've got to cut the cancer out. So there's the foreboding premise. And then we'll go to like the most cliche. I mean, the cliches just got with the trial and they just went over the top. You know, even Stephen King's more subtle than this. We meet our heroine, Madison. She's up with Duff and she's coming in from a shift. But of course, husband's on the bed watching sports, so we know what's happening next. You know, it's a bit annoying, but don't you American sports fans think your brain shells, by the way, just because I'm palming the cliche? It's the same as me sitting here drunk wanting to fight people. You know, we all have them. But yeah, we know he's going to be a bit thick and a wee bit punchy. And that's kind of what happens. And fuck, the line that really got me, maybe you should stop being pregnant. Like, he's up in the bed watching the TV at full volume. They've got a big TV downstairs. But it's all to fucking create this scene. It's like the plot needed to happen, so we'll have this really dumb... It's frigging got Michael Bay dialogue in it. Let's just put it like that. She wants to lie down, and he's just... Bleh. And then what it is, he grabs her, smashes her head against the wall, and then that kicks off the whole plot because she locks the door, gets knocked out, and then we discover all the police and hubby's been dispatched, and she's up knocked out, and then turns out she's had 3 miscarriages, or 2 or 3 miscarriages, and this is another one. And her sister finds her in the hospital, goes to the hospital and breaks the bad news and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm saying, there's 100 ways I could have done this. 100 ways I could have done this. And they went for the dumbest, cliche, just, I suppose the SJWs are loving this. Damn patriarchy, all that kind of stuff. But just, it's a wee bit crap. But anyway. Even that one was Sarbiak, Invisible Bloke or whatever, looks better, and she's got a face on her like a slapped arse. But even that looks more intimidating than this shite. That's just that whole scene. But they had to just shoehorn something in there to get it all going. God, what happens next? For such a long movie, there's not much in the way of plot. It's your typical, let's find out with the mad scientist. That we've already had the opener, so we know that's what it is. We know Gabriel's real. So why they spend so long of her having dreams and that such? Because that's basically what happens next. After she gets home, and then she starts having visions of, who is it? Dr. Weaver. It was actually a cool scene, right? And this could have went a whole other way. And I think this is where, I think if James Wan had been writing this himself and didn't have, how many writers did he have? There's 3 flipping writers in this. Yeah, Ingrid Basu and Akela Cooper. Akela. So he's got 2 other writers pulling directions. So yeah, this is going to be a mess. But that first scene where she's putting stuff in the washing machine. By the way, there's only 2. This is the flipping mansion, by the way. This is huge. Huge house. And the flipping washing machines are like industrial size. Yeah, okay. I got a large tumble dryer for bed sheets and stuff, but this is ridiculous. Sorry, these are things that annoy me in movies. I know other people pick other things, but just the ludicrousness of the laundry room. It's like, flip's sake, she could do a whole football team's laundry in that, and just her on her own. Like, weird. But it's all about, she's bleeding from the back of her head, comes up, and then she has the vision. But the scene with the washing machine door, and it almost looks like a ghost of "Get out of my house!" And she's like, "This is my house. Who are you?" And then it swaps, and I think you see out in the trailer anyway, so I'm not really giving spoilers, but she swaps as if she's in her house. That was a really cool scene, and I thought the apparition, let's call it this for the moment, it's Gabriel. You know, I know Gabriel exists, so you've kind of lost the mystery. I think if I had maybe cut the first scene out and got rid of and not spent on money on CGI hospital, and maybe kept that to later. Actually, no, it looks just as shit later on. Oh, there's a scene where she's driving up in the car, and it's just, she's driven up on a green screen, and it looks absolutely terrible. I mean, it's like the 80s did better landscape shots. Look at Puppet Master. Look at my review of Puppet Master, right? They did better landscapes with oil paintings and canvas and superimposing hotels on the canvas than this shit. And this is only like 2 years ago. What the hell? And that's probably cost gazillions more than that did. And it looks worse. I don't know. You used to tell me that this is the wonders of Hollywood. Yeah, so she sees this. Turns out she can actually see like transport into the places mentally when this is happening. And then she sees Dr. Weaver getting butchered, and then the police find it. Did she tell him then? No, it's the second one. So this goes on. She tells her sister, and then she tells her sister she was adopted. So we start getting another plot point, plot point, plot point. Sorry, it's not even that there. It's just plot point. Here, have a plot point to the face. Here, have another one. That's what this movie kind of does to you. Freaking fad. Yeah, Michael Bay may as well wrote some of the dialogue for this. It's just cringy and dear. But there's the underpinning of a good movie. I think that's what's bugging me. There's an underpinning of like a really tense drama because you can kind of see the James Wan, but trying to make it the slow burner, and then you've got these two excited puppies of the other two writers going yep, 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 yep. I think that's the best way to describe why this movie is so awful. Just it's fighting against itself. Cheers, well, hopefully the review's better in the actual movie because oh god, this is a doozy. But just saying, my frustration is there's the underpinnings of actually a good tense drama and follow The Haunting, for example. The Conjuring. We get drip fed the information, we put the mystery together, which is most supernatural movies of this type, sci-fi, supernatural. You're drip fed into it, but this isn't. It's just beating you over the head. It's her. It's her brother. Like within 2 minutes. And I didn't watch the. Have I watched the review? No, I watched the clip of this on Facebook. When you actually, when you scroll on videos and they do those dozy movies clips and they play the stupid music over the top. I thought this was a Hong Kong B movie, a particular scene, and I'm like, bloody hell, this is B movie goodness. I've got to go find that, and then I realized it's this movie, and it's like, A-list cinema release, Atomic Monster, taking itself seriously. I'm like, okay, right, let's leave after a bit till I finally broke up and watched it. Right. The detectives. What a pair of numpties. Shaw has a weird first name. And he can't even pronounce it. That's how funny it is. It takes him like he every time he pronounces his name, he does it differently each time. So the actor's been given a weird name and he's trying to pronounce it. He keeps stuffing it up. It's brilliant. And everyone else is trying to do it. You'd think after the first couple of takes, knowing that all the actors, including the one whose name is supposed to be, are struggling with it, they'd change his name. Don't know what they were thinking about that. And I'm not even going to try because I don't care. And then you've got Moss, who's the bad-tempered, straight out of the 70s Harlem, type lady, boss girl. And it's like, what is this? It's like they're trying to do a buddy cop movie, but they don't know how buddy cop movies work. If that makes sense. You can definitely tell the influence of these other two writers. I don't even know anything about them, and I don't really care because you can kind of see their, stamp. And what I mean by stamp, I mean hammer to the head. I mean, it's actually less subtle than her smashing the back of her head against the wall, which sets the whole thing off. And if you don't know that, because every time she bleeds, she gets a vision. If you haven't figured out that was the cause of everything, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, flipping weird. But that's not as Kikoa or something. Sure. Like I said, I don't know the pronunciation because nobody else can pronounce it, so why should I bother? Like he gives about 3 different pronunciations in the space of one scene, and everyone else is struggling. I don't know why I was stuck on that. I just found it hilarious. But like I said, like after the first scene with CGI Hospital, I had given up on this movie anyway, and I was just long for a bit of shits and giggles, to be honest, and to do the review. I wasn't expecting to be gripped or anything like that, which is just as well. So basically, what happens is we've got this dual weird plot. So we're starting to find out these victims that are appearing are all connected to Madison. At the same time, we find out that Madison isn't Madison. She is someone else, Annie somebody. Annie May. Or something like that. So if you haven't figured out that she's connected to the killer, like intimately, and she's not the one doing the killing, it's definitely him because it's already been spoiled at the start of the movie. I don't know what to tell you. Um, do you still wear Velcro shoes if you have to friggin' if this any of this comes as a surprise to you? And don't mean to be actually do mean to be insulting because I'm a sarky bastard, but yeah, this is like so we know Gabriel's a bad guy. He's a oogie boogie ghost, and we know it's connected to her bleeding from the head. And the title's kind of telling you what the hell's going on anyway. And the hospital scene, so you know what's all happening with this movie. Without saying conjoined twins sort of thing, but aren't conjoined twins because that's the twist. Yeah, and this meanders, and I think this is what gets me. This meanders on for an hour, like nearly an hour longer than it should have done. They spoil the movie at the start, go in all the yada yada, and then they painfully take their time going through all this. And then we get a weird scene because this is set in Seattle. And I don't know how true to life this is, but apparently there's like underbelly Seattle and real Seattle, and they built after a fire, they built like new Seattle over old Seattle, but they didn't fill it in. They left all the cave structures and that and old shops because that's really secure to build like skyscrapers and stuff on top. Having all these tunnels underneath and rickety buildings. But hey, who am I? I'm not a structural engineer or anything. But I kind of think that'll be a wee bit dodgy. Like for the price of a bit of concrete, do it bit by bit. Don't know. But we've got this random woman. She's giving tours around this bit, and then she gets kidnapped, and then she's next thing she knows, she's taken back to the lair. May as well say the Batcave, because Jesus Christ, they've tried to make Seattle look like Gotham City, like proper, like Gotham, like starting with, like, it may as well have been Arkham Asylum. They started off with, and uh, what is it? Gabriel looks, I don't know, like a cross between Scarecrow and the Riddler. No, not quite the Riddler. Who's the other one? Who's the one with the God? I can't remember now. With the bandages and stuff. No, I'm thinking Two Face in Dark Knight Returns. So that's kind of the vibe they're going for. And the weird walking, so it's like not quite true, but is there a thing with the CGI is just it's cringe because this thing's jumping about like flipping Yoda in the prequels. They're the Star Wars reference when I used to give a shit, and that's bzz, bzz, spin, 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 kicky, kick, super strength, blah, and you're like, okay, how? Because they're starting to stitch Madison up for this. They're starting to go, there's your suspect. Like, she was heavily pregnant, can barely waddle up the stairs, but they're saying that she has superhuman strength. American police, I suppose. Best and brightest of the world, eh? Although our police over here catching up with the old window licking department. Definitely, they're flipping strawberry flavored windows in their houses. But yeah, this is just painfully plods along. We've got her kidnapped. We've no idea who she is, which is fair enough, but the killer Gabriel's basically making a sword out of a statuette. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's a statuette of the medical symbol, the sword with the two serpents, but it's encased in marble or something, marble-esque type. They're not using sharpened steel. That's going to be cheap metal. Like with those things, it's normally the stone or the crystal are the heavy bits, but they don't make usable trophies. Like even in the medical field, like it's just a shiny thing to put up. It's not actually the value of the thing itself. Because outside of winning it, it's like what do you call them things? The Oscars. Like I'm pretty sure they're not solid gold, but it's the prestige of having one. You could probably buy one off eBay and look exactly the same as in some Hollywood person's house. But the real daft part of this is the Gabriel making a sword out of it, and not just a sword, but I mean super sword. I'm talking about magical, enchanted, won't blunt, can punch through anything, and of course comes with a shink sound, which you're like, oh my god, don't do that. And I mean proper volume turned up type, what do you call it, Zorro type, type stuff. And she tries to get him, throws the thing, and it's like, bang, straight through a wooden wall. Don't think about it, talk to the radio like Bumblebee type crap. And yeah, so that's what you can make out of trophies these days. I bet they're anyone to chat with some of their trophies that they've got. You put that thing in the grinder, just go blink and disappear, in the dust. Absolute stupidity. Like, I don't know. All we needed was the, what do you call it? Just forgotten the name. What did I say the name of the villain was? No, not Sebastian. Gabriel. Where did I get the Sebastian from? Gabriel. Yeah, may as well have the Gabriel symbol with the sword get up, dun, 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 there's somebody else needing a murdering. To the Gabriel cave. It's that freaking Adam West type cheesy shite. What's her face? Madison begins to lose her mind, and her sister becomes Nancy Drew and starts going on an investigative journey. And of course, her parents are hoarders, so they keep everything. They have all these tapes of Madison talking to Gabriel, going, he's telling me to do this. The voices. Hello, on the phone doing the poltergeist thing. He's here. All that type shit. And it's jarring. Because we've already had the thing spoiled at the start that Gabriel actually exists. So why are they then going through the whole plot of making it out that she, as if they're trying to put it out that she's having like schizophrenia or delusional or she's homicidal. but we already know that it's not the case. We know this is actually happening. So what the hell? It's like they just, oh, we need to fill in plot points and just keep this going for friggin' 5 years. Anyway, yada yada yada. Another one of it turns out the find of the photograph as well, and all the doctor and the second one, and then we'll see the third one. They're all connected, and they're all connected to her case, which is super duper top secret, but the files are laying everywhere. Yeah, like they're seeing all this going on. They know something weird's happening, and they know it's not a psychiatric hospital. That's the thing that they're trying to do the the hypnosis scene was absolutely tragic. Absolutely tragic. But it's like it's not a psychiatric hospital, it's reconstructive surgery, medical stuff. So a medical procedure's happened. What the hell? You know something gnarly's going on, and she's been no memory of prior to her being adopted at 8. Yeah, but this say she's doing it. Anyway. Yada yada yada. It goes on. She identifies a hotel where it's a third person. Yeah, I don't care about their names anymore. I've given up caring because it's like, meh, whatever. Yeah, there might be quality metals, but are the quality metals make an unbluntable sword out of? I would beg it. I would say not. Uh, I would say that they're not that. It's not that type of steel. Plus, if it was that type of steel, and it was already beaten and molded. And by the way, if you ever watch, oh God, what was it called? There's a YouTube channel where guy forges weapons from like video games and stuff. God, I haven't watched them in ages. But when you see what you do to metal to get at that, because you can't really unmake that. I mean, the more the metal gets hardened, you can't pull it out of that shape. That's why you have to be so precise, or else if you mold it wrong and heat it the wrong way and stuff, it gets stuck in the wrong shape, and then you've wasted a lump of metal because it can't. It gets to a certain point of hardness apparently that you can do no more. So if it's that strong and it's been molded in this intricate pattern, then you're not just going to get an angle grind and like me. But hey, who am I? Who am I? Criticizing these movies by these smarter people than me. I'm a nobody. At the end of the day, I'm just gobbing off. So finally, we get. It's after the hypnotherapist session, and then another one. Oh, right, yes, because woman turns out the Gabriel cave is actually Madison's attic, and then just happens as the police are there, she escapes and then falls through the ceiling. Because let's put a big bow in all the cliches. Let's wrap it up in a nice little box, put a big bow on it, and be like, there you go, she's guilty, police. Even though you know something weird is going on and a cover-up's happened, you're like, yeah, okay. So that's where the locker in jail, and then that god awful scene happens, which you can look it up. It's absolutely shit. It's like parody. But the worst scene, the most offensive scene, has to be her running through the police station. I mean, the most god awful CGI ever. Now, don't forget, we have had. I guess this is 2 years ago. This was made 2 years ago, right? So if you think, oh, who could possibly take on police with a knife? We've had V for Vendetta. Look how well that was done. We've had The Matrix. God, we've even had Last Action Hero, and that was better than this shit. Even Star Wars prequels with Yoda flipping, spinny, back flipping, woo woo woo, and was, and all that nonsense is better than this shit. So you're telling me this scene in the police station is the pinnacle of Hollywood creativity and Hollywood special effects that surpasses anything that has been made since the 80s or 90s? Get a grip. Uh, just God off. If you haven't been taken out of this movie by now, that scene will do it. It is fucking terrible. Almost as bad as the next shot, like I said, of CGI Hospital, where Nancy Drew, sorry, sister type things, going to investigation. You see the car driving, and you just know it's all green screen. And you can actually, here's how bad it is. When they're doing the panning shot from her going through the fence, so they've done a wee bit of a stage and a couple of boxes they've thrown in and stuff. People have cleared out their cupboards and thrown it like into the parking thing. When it goes from that scene, the panning shot to that scene, it's my editing's better and I'm shit. And I've been sharing some of my older videos with my crap lighting and sound quality and me stammering and blustering, and it's better than this shit. And they have an entire studio behind them. So what does that tell you? It's absolutely god-awful terrible. But of course she finds everything she needs all in one box. Another thing that really offends me. Another thing that really, really offends me is when she opens up the box, there's VHS tapes, not in cases. That is sinful. And they're not rewound. They're fucking not rewound. I saw it. There's 2 in there and they're not rewound. They're sitting out of cases and they're not rewound back to the start. So these people all deserve what happened to them for doing that. Yeah. Sorry, no sympathy whatsoever. Don't care what they did, but for doing that, the perfectly good VHS cassettes. But of course, they play perfectly, by the way. Just so you know, they play perfectly after being treated so badly, and they're in a dusty. I think there's a wee bit of course, there has to be water. There's dripping water as well, because that has to happen. Or is it smoke? No, that was the underbelly. There's dripping water. Sorry, this is dusty. The hospital's dusty. But yeah, she has everything. And then, of course, she's come back. I've solved the case. Better in the police. Blah, blah, blah. And then it just goes dum-dum. So we find out that random lady that was kidnapped is actually Madison and Gabriel's mother. And Malignant, he's a conjoined tumor type. He's not actually a conjoined twin. He's a tumor twin. So I thought they'd try that. And he's attached to the back of her head. And what they did was, after he was being too naughty, is they cut his arms off and his rib cage and then just shoved his face into her skull. And how they did this, I don't know. Because she doesn't have a skull as such, they're attached. So they managed to cut off the perfect piece to represent her skull, apparently, like underneath him, and then cut his face off and then shove his face under that and then put the skull on top. You have to watch the scene to just go, that makes no sense. Like, give her a metal plate in the head. That would have been actually, in fact, that would have been better. Flipping Frankenstein, do a flipping metal plate and rivets, bzz, 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 that would have looked better than this crap. Yeah, we'll be waiting a while for that. Yeah, good luck. Under the reign of KK, yeah, Star Wars is dead. It's long. Nobody cares anymore. People aren't even angry anymore. They just don't give a shit. It's a dead franchise. It's done. Good luck. I just feel nothing. And most of the Hollywood sludge that comes out, I just feel nothing. I don't even feel annoyed, angry. It's just like, nah, shite. Okay, where's the next B movie, B horror movie? Because at least there's some freaking feeling behind it. Yeah, God. So this is they're going to kill the mother. Because yeah, that's why. And blah blah blah. Fight, and then we get mind battle, because we knew it was coming. Mind battle. I'm ready for you now. I've learned all your tricks. I am the master. Bzzz. That one of those type shitty things. After all this. And then he back in their head. No, I'll be back, but I'll be ready for you. I'll get my revenge. I think they're trying to set up for a sequel, which is like, nah, please don't. Please don't do it. And then they see this panning shot of the mother, I'm so proud of you, and you're my real sister, and blah blah blah. And then we see the little, and it pans the light bulb, and you're like, come on, it's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now. I mean, this is like a couple of minutes, just focusing the thing, then finally goes, and like, yeah, freaking took you long enough for, like, you've been panning on it for like 5 minutes, we know it's gonna buzz. Cut the credits. Yeah, that was a pretty shit movie. Yeah, that was god awful bad. There you go. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be from what people have said about it and that particular clip. Because actually, in context of the movie, the clip was better. The jail scene, but yeah, there's too much unforgivable shite in this. You can tell there's been like this has been made by committee. This is one of these movies because you can. James Wan's normal stuff, he has a particular vision, like the Conjuring universe. He has a particular vision and he wants to bring out to life, and you can see it. You can see it in his movie. This thing is a Frankenstein's monster of movie made by committee, and I've got an idea. Oh, let's do this. Blah, 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 you know, and he's trying to write the script, and somebody's beside him with a crayon going, my turn. And then the other one's going, my turn, with the other crayon. So we've got the script like sort of typed up and then red and blue crayon, just we made a movie. We made a movie. Yay. That's it. There you go. It's crap. I wish I had that amount of money just to waste in vanity projects. Honestly, I'd be I'd impose more machete writing on you. God, I don't know. Right, okay, that's it. What's coming up on the channel next? I don't know what I'm doing. It's Thursday, God. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I've got some submissions in for Horrific Tales, so I need to start recording. So it means I'll need to leave the streaming behind to actually get some episodes put together. So we're getting that ball rolling again. So get some short stories coming out from authors. Saturday, I have a guest. A couple of guests. Hang on a minute. I'll get myself organized. So as you know, I'm a flipping scatterbrain. What have we got coming up? Yep, MJ Mars on Saturday. Looking forward to talking to her. Seems like a nice lady. She's an author. So yeah, getting the chat segment got up again, get people in, get talking, let just get to know them. We love that kind of good stuff. This Sunday, we're back in the Barker land again. We're doing Raw Head Rex, and that's going to be special. I've started opening it. It's in Books of Blood Volume 3, so I've started like a couple of pages in. Yeah, I just love Barker's excuses for his movies. I've realized I was because he's such a great writer. I was kind of nodding my head at the start, you know. Oh, the damn studios. Oh, the damn studios. Oh, right. And now it's like, oh yes, the damn studios again. Yeah, it's not you, mate. Okay. But we'll talk about that on Sunday. And then, of course, next week we've got Steve and Chris on, and we're going to talk about the others. Nicole Kidman. I haven't heard much of her lately. She kind of retired gracefully or vanished into the ether, which is fair enough. You know, if she's happy enough and done what she needs to. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, God, this is going to be like a 6-hour stream we used to, and all the bloody tangents. Yeah, shoot in for the stream marathon as we pick apart scene by scene, and Chris will be doing all the random stuff the studio come up with, and Steve will be looking up all the mistakes, and I'll just be going, ooh, shiny lights, ooh, and looking at the plot. And between the three of us, we'll cobble together, I'm sure, a pretty fun review. Looking forward to that. And then we'll see what's happening. I'm sure I'll do something else over the weekend. Try and get a game or something coming up. Obviously, as you know, on Wednesdays, my Wednesdays are tied up with Brotherhood of the Dice. So please check out their channel. We're doing Highway of Blood. We're doing like a wee, because some of the players had to put Towers of the King on hiatus for a couple of weeks. So we're doing this like one shot. And We're doing Highways of Blood, and so far it's set in the 70s, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm playing a junkie, and I'm just messing with the group, and it's absolutely, it's just funny. It's just funny to do. The characters, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. Obviously, we're still got Dragonlance Saga going on every other Saturday. I'll put those posts up prior to streaming, so keep an eye out on Dragonlance Saga's channel. And then that'll take us into, that's going to go on until I think August, and then we're starting a new adventure. It's not War of the Rose, something of the Rose, the Black Rose or something. I've already made my character for it. We've talked about it. I'm trying not to spoil the adventure by looking into it more, but it's a second edition D&D one, so we'll get into that. And I'm pretty sure I'll be doing something else in between, more cheesy movies. So we're keeping busy. We're keeping busy and we're keeping cracking on. I try to get that bloody Egypt Cameron to get on here and do reviews or unboxings or something. He keeps hiding from me. Fortunately, Adam and I have joint custody of him, and his wife wants him sometimes as well, and it's like it's a wee bit of a fight. But we all love our Cameron time. Get him. Get him on at some point, do a review. He hasn't done HORRORific this month, has he? No, I'll have to poke him. Get him to do HORRORific opening and see what cheesy goodness he's got coming out of that there. But there you go. Thanks everyone for turning up. Welcome to everyone on Twitch, by the way. I know you're meant to do stuff with Twitch. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I know you're meant to actually go onto the channel and let people know, because this thing doesn't push out the way it does to everywhere else. But good to have you on board. Hope you're enjoying the content. It's a wee bit different. It's not going to be like 3-hour gaming streams, because if you see me playing games, you'll understand why. There you go. But hope you enjoy what we do. And there you go. So until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.